Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new podcast, Lord Russell, the World of Lord Russell. And we've got with us here Lord Russell again to talk to us about his different episodes and different adventures. So this time we are going to talk about the T6 Harvard fighter plane. Welcome, Lord Russell.
Thank you very much, Venetia. It's a very interesting story, this one. I'm looking forward to actually remembering all these things that happened on that day. So, yeah, it should be a good podcast. Lovely. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, first of all, it's very intriguing. You had driving lessons. Tell me how it all went, how it started. Why did you want to have driving lessons? And how did you organize everything to finally be on the fighter plane?
Venetia, it wasn't driving lessons, it was flying lessons.
Flying lessons, sorry.
That's okay. It was flying lessons, not driving. I passed my driving test many years ago. Too many years for me to remember, actually. But yeah, no. So I actually, it's quite an interesting story. I'd never flown an aircraft before. I'd been up in a Tiger Moth as a passenger, but never took hold of the aircraft. And it was good fun, going backwards in the wind and all that kind of good thing. But my daughter knew I liked aircraft and liked to fly, so she bought me a Christmas present, and it was to fly this wonderful T6 Harvard fighter plane out of Duxford, an absolute master of an aircraft, very fast, an old US Navy World War II fighter. Yeah, I thought this is my thing. It's very interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So I turned up at Duxford, as you do, on the day, and the historical office was there, signed in, and all this good stuff. I could see this wonderful blue T6 Harvard fighter out on the runway, the grass runway, I hasten to add.
Yeah.
And of course, what you've got to remember is that Duxford itself is quite famous because it actually was a World War II, part of World War II fighter command. It did actually have attack aircraft there during World War II. It was used for the Battle of Britain. And of course, so the history was there. And this T6 Harvard was parked outside. And off I went to meet the pilot, because I haven't got a pilot's license, obviously. I haven't flown before. Yep. To meet this pilot who was going to take me up and give me the ropes. And hopefully I could get the stick and take control up in the air. So that was my plan. So anyway, I met this rather interesting guy who was going to be my pilot for the afternoon, a chap called Brendan O'Brien, who I never knew before.
Quite famous, isn't he?
Very famous. I was to find out because he actually owns the O'Brien Flying Circus, and he attends many sort of aerobatic displays around the world, landing aircraft on moving trucks, doing dances with this helicopter he's got, and all sorts of crazy things. And of course, he's flown every aircraft imaginable, a fantastic pilot. So I got introduced to Brendan, and we had a good old chat, and I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. So anyway, Julie starts the engine up, smoke everywhere. The noise of this thing, I can tell you, it was just absolutely inspirational.
Must have been amazing, yeah.
And of course, I did find out that in the World War II, Spitfire and particularly Spitfire pilots did learn or trained to fly in the T6 Harvard as well. But of course, in the end, they didn't have time for that. Just had to get into the Spits and go up and shoot the Germans down. So as the war was progressing.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be a fast aircraft, and the noise was just deafening. So we sat in it, it revved up, pulled the canopy back, and off he went. So we slowly across the grass into takeoff position, and off we went down the runway on the grass. I thought, this is a famous World War II aerodrome at Duxford, and off we went up into the air, and we climbed. And Brendan then Judy said to me, Russell, he said, have you flown before? I said, no, first time. He said, you're going to fly this beast today. I can tell you now, he said. So he was really up for it. So he took me through some of the motions, getting hold of the stick, going left, going right, how to use the rudders. He showed me actually what it felt like without the rudders. So he just pulled the stick to the left, and the plane shook. I thought, crikey, this is going to fall apart. And he started laughing. He said, and this is how smooth it is with the rudders. So he went left and right. And I thought, wow, this is a beast. And it was amazing. So he said, when I say you've got control, Lord Russell, he said, take control. And he'd say to me, I've got control, Brendan. And that was the first thing we did.
Wow. How did you feel at that time? How did you feel when you said that?
I felt like a World War II fighter ace. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I thought, God, I own the skies. And of course, when you're up there, you've got to look out. You've got to see if there's any other aircraft around, because we didn't have any tracking systems. This is an old World War II fighter. It was manual. So none of this radar, none of this other stuff on board, computers. So you're looking around, making sure there's nothing in front, underneath, beside you, or behind you, and at the same time controlling this aircraft. And of course, what he taught me was that to hold it steady, to not go down or up, keep the canopy where the grass reaches the top of the canopy on level with the horizon. So I was using that quite well, maintaining good height, turning right, left, twisting and turning. And he said, head for that tower over there. So I'm flying this thing.
Yeah.
And he said, are you sure you've not flown before, Lord Russell? I said, no, this is the first time. So you're handling this very, very well. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did this for a period of time. And then, of course, my time was running out. And he said, we have to head back. So he said, you've still got control. Go bank to the left. So I banked to the left and saw where Duxford was. And I was flying in. He said, Russell, I've got a really crazy idea. Right. I said, what's that, Brendan? He said, when we get over the runway, should we do some aerobatics?
Wow.
And I thought, oh, that'd be very interesting. It'd be nice to sit here and experience you doing these aerobatics, Brendan, whilst I just enjoy the moment. He said, no, Lord Russell, you're going to do the aerobatics. I thought, well, I've never flown before, Brendan. This is just mad. He said, yes. No, I feel confident in you. You've handled this very well. You can do this. Anyway, I'm here anyway. If you get into trouble, I'll get us out of it. So I thought, okay.
And you were up for it?
I was up for it, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm up for most things in my life, to be fair, Venetia. So as we came into Duxford, I looked out the canopy to my left and I could see people queued up with their cameras along the fence, taking pictures of this quite noisy, iconic World War II fighter. And I was in control. I thought, this is brilliant. And we were at the right height. And as we went across the runway, so right, pull the stick back, Russell, we're going to do a 360. So I yanked back on the stick and we went up and up and up. And when I got upside down, I remember looking out the canopy, you could see the runway beneath us. And he said,
wow, that must have been amazing to see it upside down. Yeah.
Upside down, looking at the runway beneath. And he said, gently release the stick, so we go down. So I did, and I just controlled it quite nicely. And as we were in the decline, to come out, obviously, and come right itself. So I came out and I got it to correct, and it righted itself. A little bit of a bump here and there, but it was good.
Yeah.
Hey, so that was brilliant. So you've just done a 360 on your own. I wasn't in control of this, Russell. You were.
You were,
So he said, let's go back out of Duxford to the end, turn round again, come back in, and we'll do a right-hand twirl, which is basically putting the stick to the right, letting the whole thing spin around until it comes around on itself, and then gently easing back into position. Yeah. So as we came in, he said, right, let's go now, Russell, right-hand twirl. So I yanked to the right, and you can see feel the plane spin. And again, as you're spinning, you're upside down, you come about right on yourself again, and you pull back and carry on flying, bit of a bounce, but we got through it, did the right-hand twirl. He said, amazing, go to the end of the runway. So off we flew again out on the other side, turned around and came back in. And as I was turning to come back in, he said, we'll do a left-hand twirl now, Lord Russell. Okay. So take the stick to the left. So do it now. So I threw it to the left. We spun around and came back round on itself and gently eased back, and a little bit of a wobble. And we came out and went back out on the other side again. And he said, right, that was brilliant. How do you enjoy the aerobatics? I said, well, I can only say it was fantastic. The first time I've ever done it. And actually, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. It was brilliant.
Wow, that was brilliant.
So we flew around a bit further, and as we came back round,
and people were watching down on the ground.
Well, they're all watching. I could see, and they were taking photographs. And this is a noisy beast. It really does, and it's quick. Seriously, very fast aircraft. And as we came round to the other side to come back in to land, Brendan just gently said, "I'll take control now, Russell." So he took control over the fence and dropped it onto the grass, and we landed. And that was just something very, very special for me in my life to have done that. And of course, it's all recorded in my autobiography, My Way, as well. So great to go and buy that book and read about it in its full, colourful view. But we came to a halt, and the canopy went back, and I climbed out onto the wing, dropped down, and Brendan did, and we shook hands. And Brendan said to me, Russell, I don't normally ask these questions. He said, but I could see you had a natural ability in this T6 Harvard. I'd like to teach you how to fly properly.
Okay.
He said, I don't take on many people, but you've got it. He said, I can get your pilot's license within 12 days. So 12 days of flying, and I can get you your pilot's license to fly solo in 12 days. No problem. So I thought, well, that sounds
Are you interested?
Yeah, I was interested. And of course, as we were speaking, the guys from the historical office come charging over. Said, Lord Russell, was that you up there in that T6 Harvard? Obviously, it doesn't happen very often, this. So we've only got one T6 Harvard here. It's right next to us now, this blue one. Of course, it was me. Who else do you think it was? Joking. And they said, oh, that was amazing. They couldn't believe it. They sort of shook their heads, looked at Brendan, looked at me, but wow. And they went back into the office, and Brendan carried on talking to me. He says, look, what we do, lessons-wise, I'll fly to your nearest air base, which is old Buckingham, that was, in Norfolk. Another great aerodrome, grass surface and everything else. Yeah. And he said, we'll start. He said, I'll teach you navigation. I'll get you up in a glider. Yeah. Get you flying my aircraft. 12 days, we'll get your license and you can fly solo. I thought, this is just crazy. And that was the plan. And as I walked back into the historical office, I said, look, I'd love to fly a Spitfire. Anytime, Lord Russell, just let us know. You can go up at any time. Now, this was in 2016. Yeah. I've not done that yet. Mm-hmm. So my plan is to do that, actually, maybe this year or next year, is to go up in a Spitfire. That would be amazing. Yeah. And if I can get control of that, that would be great too. So, but yeah, my T6 Harvard experience was something else. But we did try to do some flying lessons, actually, about 3 or 4 times after this. We got into the winter when it started, and every time it was bad weather, Brendan couldn't take off. So we never actually got round to doing these lessons. I have spoken to Brendan since, and I know, because we know each other obviously now, and he does his shows around the various places around the world. I'll back him as well. I did meet up with him there about 2 years after we did this experience, and that's still on my mind. But really, do I want to fly now? I don't know. It's maybe I've lost the opportunity, the chance, but I will the Spitfire next. I have to do that. But this T6 Harvard fighter was a real experience. Real experience,
I would think so, yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. But I have flown since. I've had flying lessons since. And there's another story there, maybe for another day. But that was something else too. Another experience to jerk at the heart and jerk at the mind. Probably a worst experience in many ways, because actually it was the first time I was told I could land an aircraft and I had to fly against the wind. So I had to crab in. It was absolutely crazy experience, but that's another experience, another story. Another story.
So what would you recommend to anyone who was interested in flying? What sort of advice would you give?
Well, firstly, I think to do what I've done, which is to maybe go and experience something out of Duxford or another aerodrome where you go up with a pilot, get the opportunity that I've had to actually take control of a beast like this T6 Harvard World War II fighter and throw it around the skies like I did. You probably won't get the opportunity to do the aerobatics that I got the opportunity to do. But maybe you might do. I don't know. But I got the opportunity because I was with Brendan O'Brien, and he knew I could do it. He could feel it, and he let me do it. So it was fascinating, and I got to feel like a real World War II fighter ace. I have to say, on the day, what an experience. But then, of course, go to a proper flying school and have proper flying lessons, which I did do. And that's another story with the experience I had on my first flying lesson was something else, something out of a horror movie almost. But anyway, it's worth doing. Go and find an airfield, a qualified instructor, and go through the experience. It really is something. It's amazing when you're up in the air. Absolutely incredible. Freedom.
Incredible, yeah. I would think so. You would think you're a bird.
I thought it was an albatross, actually, or a soaring golden eagle. No, not of course not. I felt myself as being a World War II fighter race. It was brilliant. I was actually, when I was up looking for German aircraft, because what I wanted to do, actually, and what I still want to do, is go into an attack mode, which you see on great fields like the Battle of Britain, where the big wing goes into flight, and you sort of look down out your canopy to the left or to the right, see the enemy. And you go, right, enemy at 6 o'clock or whatever it is, then go into that attack roll where you go, attacking now. You turn the aircraft down into a dive and go down head on. That's what I want to do. I want to do that maneuver, that attacking World War II maneuver. Fantastic, iconic. So and then as you come down, actually get it recorded, going dagger, 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 dagger. That's brilliant. That's one of my must-dos in life, I think, now. I might do it with a Spitfire. True iconic style. Why not?
Well, it was nice to know about this episode. So I hope that the listeners have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this narrative, and that those who want to take up flying lessons might be interested to do so. And I wanted also to let people know that the episode will be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Now, the book itself, the autobiography, My Way, is available on Amazon as paperback and as a Kindle edition. Also, hardbacks are available if you contact Lord Russell directly. If you want to give the email address for that, Lord Russell, please.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. So Amazon, go onto Amazon, softback, and the Kindle version, you can buy that today. Just search for My Way, Lord Russell Baker, and it comes up, and purchase online. Or send me an email at Russell, that's RUSSELL, at norfolklord.co.uk, and then we can communicate, and I can send you a signed, beautiful hardback copy for as little as $24.99. An absolute bargain, because it's a beautiful book. It really is stunning.
Yeah.
Yes, stunning book.
Okay. And anything you wanted to add, Lord Russell?
No, that's it. I think it's a perfect moment to go and buy the book. Go out there and grab your copy. I'll certainly give a signed copy if you send me an email. No problem. We arrange payment. That's easy to do, and I look forward to doing that. And I look forward to everybody reading my book. It's a fabulous story. It really is. I think the stories I've done so far on this podcast are quite enlightening. There's a lot more to come too. So listen to the next episode in 2 weeks' time. But listen to this one first, of course. Wonderful, wonderful episode.
Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we look forward to hearing your feedback if you've got any feedback. And at the same time, we encourage you to listen on the different channels, as I said, to buy the book, grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea, and read it at leisure. Thanks very much, Lord Russell, for your time.
Thank you very much, Venetia, and thank you very much to the audience. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as much as I enjoy recording them. It's fantastic. Look forward to the next one.
Look forward to the next one. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Venetia. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.